This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Here's something also written in that same issue of Figure 4. It's a very weird deal that only Piper will understand as part of his deal for doing the tape. He wanted TNA to plug his Piper Vision. However, he said he didn't want them to plug his website that the Piper Vision is on because he felt like it would come off as a commercial. Mr. Wrestling 2 was backstage before the show, so he happened to drive through Nashville, but he left long before the show started. Funny Hawk story. He was talked with as if he was serious in his newfound religion, which is the direction of so many 80s stars, from the Road Warriors, DiBiase, Tully Blanchard, Terry Taylor, Nikita Koloff, Jake Roberts, Hector Guerrero, Sting, Brian Blair, Tatanka, Shawn Michaels, and Greg Valentine have now taken, about how he could work for a company that features swearing and tearing clothes off of women. His response was, "That's a good question." The funniest answer I ever heard was Bill Watts, who also fell into the category of a dirty, rotten scoundrel in wrestling turned religious zealot, when asked circa 85 how he could promote something based on violence and sex if it was contradictory to his religious beliefs. And his response was $4 million a year.
Every zealot has his price, right?
$4 million a year. Of course, that's what the promotion was making at the time.
Okay. That's too good, man. It's amazing, that list of wrestlers and or promoters or people involved in the business who have turned to religion.
Well, at the time they were doing speaking tours. What they would do is they would go do a fundraiser for a church where they would, of course, get paid appearance fees out of it, and the church would keep a lot of the profit. But then the next day they would do like a testimony, like a traditional, church service. So it became a quote unquote gimmick for a lot of guys to do shows. And then it became a hotly debated, okay, so maybe they're using it as a promotional thing, but are they actually true believers? And a lot of people sort of formed different opinions when guys, for better or worse, like Jake Roberts, would join them. But some of that is maybe unfair because, who are we to say what's in their heart at the time? And I think sometimes people who have had struggles with substance issues get judged maybe unfairly, like people just become a doubting Thomas for them for whatever reason. I just think that's a little unfair. And some of it is just, we as wrestling fans want to believe the wrestling character. Like, you'd be surprised how many quote unquote smart friends I have who still low key think Kevin Sullivan is the devil.
Yeah.
Like, it's a fucking television persona, guys. It's not. And it's funny because you even say that to some of the boys and they're like, "Oh, but are you sure?" It's like, come on, man.
Yeah. It's like, well, she's not here, but she'll hear it anyway. Lois Schiavone really, does not like me talking to Britt Baker. And I say, Lois, this is not real. She said, but she's so mean to you. I said, yes, of course. God, she just doesn't get it. So I can understand that. And back to the religion part of it. I noticed that, my video keeps dipping the black. Were they running commercials in a pay-per-view?
So I'm glad you bring that up because I noticed that too. And they were not running commercials in the pay-per-view. I think what happened along the way is before the idea to have an app came about, they were probably able to license old episodes here for TV internationally.
Mm-hmm.
So they probably went in and added commercial breaks spots.
Okay.
So you could run this on regular TV. In France or, wherever the fuck.
Sure.
And maybe you get some sort of little fee because they're looking for content and you happen to have some, and why not get paid for it?
Yeah. All right. And Mike Tenay, missing in action, man. MIA. Missing in action. When we were, and I'll talk about Vince Russo here in a minute as we see him. When we were in Salt Lake City, our last great live show before the pandemic, I got in touch with Mike via text because we text periodically. And I said, hey, love to have you here. He said, well, he returned my text. He said, well, I live 300 miles away in South Utah. But we sent pictures of the grandkids back and forth, and that's it. But Mike is completely kind of like what I did after this, right? Removed himself from wrestling.
Yeah, he's pulled the Schiavone. He has indeed Schiavone.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.